Okay. Welcome back, all of my tweakers, geekers, and goons. My name is Johnny, Jine, and welcome back to Solace. I hope you've all been well. And this time around, I'm just going to get straight into it. You need to turn your brain off. You need to stop it. You just need to stop doing it. Um, we are pretty fucked up right now. There's a lot of things to be thinking about. Not much time not to be thinking about anything. Even in the time we try to give ourselves not to be thinking about anything, we end up thinking about something by putting something on to fill the noise in the background. So that's more thinking. But I just feel like we're also pretty capable of not doing so, believe it or not. I know that can sound like a foreign concept at this point in time. However, I'm here to tell you it's not. It's real. It exists. But it takes wanting it. It takes wanting the silence, wanting the patience, wanting the presentness. And I can understand why right now some people wouldn't really want that to begin with. So if it's not something that you would believe to be for yourself, at least at this point in time, because I'm sure there will be a point in time in your life where you're like, you know what, I can't do this shit anymore. You can come back, okay? But for now, do as you must. But for everyone else, I will say the first thing is acknowledging it sucks right now. It does. And there's plenty of reasons for you to be caught up in your thoughts all the time, but in being caught up in those thoughts, you lose your identity because you become part of the problems. You're more concerned about what the problems will do and their cause and effect rather than what you as an individual can do and what your cause and effect could be. When the socio-economic and socio-political environment is the way that it is right now, it would be pretty hard to off the bat disconnect yourself from the things around you, and especially when having so many different links to so many different things and ideas all the time, you're fighting an uphill battle and trying to shut that shit up. But while it's hard, it's not impossible. It's not. And the way you may go about it, I promise you, it is more than likely not going to be meditation, because meditation is not for everybody. Not everybody can sit down and or lay down and just shut it up. At least not off the bat. While I would recommend meditation, at least to try it once, I understand that trying it out, starting off, most people do not have the attention span. Like, you're just not going to want to do it. It's just not going to happen. And I get it. But that doesn't mean you can't find some form of space or activity that will give your brain the chance to breathe. Because we do not have the time to breathe nowadays, unfortunately. But that doesn't mean you can't make your own space to breathe. Okay? When the thoughts start to get too loud and you can't hear that silent isn't the word, Jaheem. When you can't hear that gentle, soft voice in the back of your head giving you kosher advice or guidance in the situation you're in, things are too loud. And you need to give yourself the time to back out of the environment you're in and to reassess what you want and how you want to go about those things. Okay? I know even doing something as simple as being kind to yourself can be pretty hard sometimes, because it's much easier to beat yourself up and to call yourself a dumbass because you made a mistake. But remember, we're here to make mistakes, okay? So when you're giving too much time to overthinking about the mistakes that you've made, the only thing you should be thinking about is what the learned lesson was from it, how you can apply that lesson moving forward, and being grateful that you had the experience of being able to have that lesson, because some people just couldn't have it to begin with. Or if they did have it, they just weren't conscious enough to be able to engage with it in the way that was able to allow their soul to grow. Now, things suck. Things are pretty... I understand. But thinking about them all the time isn't going to change that they exist. This is coming from someone who doesn't done it. I will say that. I've gotten over that aspect of things. You definitely need to be more aware of the fact that life is always changing around you. Things are never always stuck in that same place of thought that you are in. The thing you may have been thinking about last week could be in a completely separate and different situation from what you believe it to be in now. So even the thoughts that you have been having about that thing for the past week, they may need an update, and you just wouldn't know. And that's also why giving such active thought to something like an event that passes in time is a waste of time. Now, not to the extent that you're not able to analyze and understand what you need to from the situation, of course, right? But to have it take over your day, to have it constantly running in the back of your mind, you need to spare yourself, because you do not need that stress. There's already enough going on in the present moment. Way much more going on in the present moment than that thought you've been letting loop in your head over and over again. I promise you. So, what are some things, what are some ways to go about freeing yourself from that cycle of thoughts? Wake up. Not in the woke way, but in the put some cold water in your face way. If you feel yourself thinking constantly, 9 times out of 10, you're also able to consciously grapple into the fact that you are thinking too much. I know I just kind of repeated what I said, but it kind of had a different meaning. Just let me cook. If you're able to grapple into the idea that you are thinking that much to begin with, then you know you are. And with that, that also brings in the conscious choice to either continue to do that or to change that, okay? And the reason I suggest doing something like splashing cold water in your face is because it's an action, and it's an action you're consciously taking to stop. Even if it doesn't stop the thoughts, it'll bring you back some form of being in the present moment so that you can continue to think about what you need to think about. Which is not that. You do not need to but it's being present, it's being aware, it's thinking, okay, well, now that I know what that problem is, what are the solutions I can bring to it? Because if you're thinking about something, but you're only thinking about the fact that it's an issue, you're doing the wrong thing. Sorry, you're not thinking the right way. I'm sorry. You're just not doing it right. Now you're able to think about, what are the solutions? What can I do to change this? Because if it's not in a situation you're able to consciously change, it's not something to be thinking about to begin with. It's not. If we don't have any control or significance over the situation, then the situation has its grips on us. and we have no way to change it. So free yourself from that belief, because you're not that thought. You're not. You're not even in the same period of time that that thought was created in. And so letting it run your life now is just a detriment to yourself. And nobody needs any more of those. So that's basically all I wanted to say for now about this specifically. I understand, one more time, I'm saying it again, I understand it's not as easy as said than done. Is that how you say that? Sure. Excuse me. But that does not mean it's impossible. You've been thinking too much, and you need to stop it. Thank you for listening to me yap today, my tweakers, geekers, and goons. I hope your week has been phenomenal. I hope you found some good fucking music, something nice to listen to. Maybe your new loopable song, the song you'll play for the next 2 weeks straight until you get tired of it. And then I hope you find another one. I think that's about it. Have a good rest of your day or night. And if you're going to sleep, good night. I love you guys.